How Basketball Saved My Life is sponsored by the Hall at the Rail House, Norman's premier event space in the heart of downtown. Weddings, receptions, corporate events, luncheons, banquets, proms, parties, and more. If you're looking for a place to celebrate life, we hope you'll choose the Hall at the Rail House, located in downtown Norman. The Hall at the Rail House is a 100-year-old event space with wood floors, exposed bricks, and beautiful wood barrel ceilings. With plentiful parking and many packages to choose from, the Hall is the perfect spot for your next event. For more information, please visit therailhousenorman.com or call 405-778-0003.
This episode is brought to you by Chris Express Drug located in South OKC. For all your sports medicine needs, call 405-735-3950. That's Chris Express Drugs located down in South OKC.
This episode is also brought to you by MU Labs. They have partnered with Oklahoma State Department of Health to bring you free COVID-19 tests. Go to www.mulabs.com to find a testing location near you. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of How Basketball Saved My Life. I'm your host, the Easy Button.
Your boy, Twan the Don.
And we have a very special guest in here for y'all today, my man, Ryan Broyles.
Norman legend.
Man, homegrown. First of all, my man is All-American 2010 and 2011. First team All Big 12, 2010, 2011. Second NCAA in career receiving
Mr.
at
Hands.
349 and second NCAA career reception yards at 4,586. Legend.
What was your nickname? I know they had to have given you a nickname.
Hands. You know how Kawhi got the claw? My man was,
I didn't.
You was the first claw.
They just called me Broyles, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She always open. I don't know. Yeah.
You had to have a nickname.
I've heard all kind of random stuff. I
give
remember
me
Mac
one.
Brown was saying, like, he called me like butter because I was smooth. I was smooth like butter. Like, all right,
I
yeah.
like that.
Get open, man.
like
Yeah,
butter.
yeah.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Biscuit
Yeah.
butter,
That's what's
baby.
up. Nah, I knew he had to have some kind of nickname.
Come on now. You gave me butter. Give me another one. Give me one more. I
Man.
like to hear it.
Yo, I just balled so hard it was just normal to people. You know, it was normal to me. So I don't
Hey.
think there was
So speaking of it being normal, is it because you are homegrown and they were used to it in high school?
That could be it, but obviously high school level and advertising is not like when you make it to college, you know.
Right.
But I was Norman. I was always in the newspaper since elementary to middle school. And so on.
Elementary?
Yeah. So
Whoa.
I've balled my whole life, man.
Elementary?
Yeah.
I didn't even know you can get a newspaper in elementary.
tight.
Talk to me about that, man. Was
so-
that like Little League?
So second grade, I started playing football. It was flag football here at the Norman Optimist Club, and that was my first time of getting recruited to play state flag football. So we won the championship in second grade. There were about 2 or 3 guys on my team that got offered to go play on a traveling team. So we did that after the season.
In the second grade.
Yeah, and then I played AAU
That's
basketball
fire.
as well. So it's always been competitive sports for me, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That brings us. What was your first sport then?
It was football.
Football?
Yep.
So
So I
all
started second grade in the fall, football, and then went right to basketball, and then obviously track, and I did that my whole career, and then obviously went straight football in college.
Hey, okay.
So football was second grade. When was basketball? When
Second
did that
grade
come around?
too.
Second grade.
Yep. And I
Okay.
played competitive AAU basketball second grade. Fifth grade, I actually played with Blake Griffin on the Nexus basketball team. We went
That's
to
fire.
Cocoa Beach. We went to and it wasn't a national championship, but it was AAU championship. We came
Nationals,
in-
that's what it
yeah,
was,
it was
it's
nationals.
nationals.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach, and I think we came in like 12 out of like 100 and something teams.
Bro,
man.
Nationals got teams on
Yeah,
teams. So
they was just next level. I remember like one of my fondest memories out there. Master P and his son. Master P had a team,
Yeah.
the No Limit Soldiers.
Little Romeo.
Yeah, Little Romeo was
First of
out
all,
there.
Don't tell me you was getting busted by Romeo.
We never played them though. We never played them, but they always had
remember
the
that.
nicest fit. They had the shoes and the sponsors, and we were just little kids like, that's the dude. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I used to watch the Little Romeo show,
Yeah,
man.
for sure,
Come on,
for sure.
man.
So you started at such a young age. Who got you put into sports, man? Because, I mean, you starting at that young, did you just say, hey, mom or dad, I want to play, or did they just put
Well, we grew up in apartments, man, so it was like that was the thing to do. And it's unfortunate now that, like, you know, not unfortunate, but, you know, kids aren't out and about anymore. You know?
It's unfortunate.
Well, maybe they are in an apartment complex. I don't live there anymore, but it was a blessing for us where we can just go knock on the neighbor's door and you got a group of kids ready to play, no matter what sport it is. And so it just
open field.
All right, well, you balled there, you had fun there. All right, let's go ahead, and you got some after school activities now, so you do that. I have siblings as well, so we all play sports.
Siblings? How many siblings?
I've got a older brother, older sister, younger brother.
So brothers is close?
Well, we're all pretty much 3.5 years apart.
Oh, so y'all battle.
Good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did it. And my oldest brother's name's Anthony. And a lot of people, if you're around Norman, from Norman, they say he was a better athlete than I was.
I was just going to ask.
And he really was, though. Like, he was a running back. He was taller than me, stronger than me, faster than me. Life just didn't work out for him in that way. But I got to see that. I got to see him as a role model, and I just had to fight and claw to be just as good as him, you know, and it helped me elevate my game.
Twan preaches guidance all the time, so you got it without even trying. And you got it with somebody that was only 3 years ahead of you.
For sure.
That's fire.
Oh, for sure.
Did
I always played with his friends, you know. I mean,
his friends was older.
They were all older, and it was like, my mom was like, yo, you take your brother. You know what I mean? You know how your older brother, my little brother, I was like, nah, he's not coming. He's not coming. But yeah,
that's how you so cold.
That's how you so cold to bring my little brother.
That's how you so cold. Because I got a brother, he's 6 years older than me. Shout out Guy, baby.
Yeah.
Man, he's 6 years older than me, and he took me around. So 6 years is a bigger difference than 3.
For sure.
So at first I couldn't play, so all I was doing was watching.
Yep.
Man, they won't let me play. Wait till they let me play.
Yep.
You know
and then when you get in, you got to hold your own, right? So you have no choice.
When you do, it's over with after that.
It's over with. So you take your game. So, like, I'm a late bloomer. I didn't play basketball. I didn't start until summer 8th grade.
Oh,
so
really?
Then, you know, starting that late, but watching him.
For sure.
And then going straight from playing from 8th grade, you know, or summer 8th grade, playing guys that are 5, 6 years older than me. So it made my game take off a lot, you know, faster than just playing with 8th graders.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, that's
how
dope,
it was in basketball. Football, we didn't get to play up, but in basketball, even from second grade, our coaches would always make us play up. You know, and especially with like AAU team like Nexus, there was a Nexus, call it 5th grade, Nexus 6th grade, Nexus 7th grade, and we would like play together. So it always elevated everybody's game.
Fire. So then, I feel like I know which way you're leaning, but which sport was your first love?
Where am I leaning?
I feel like you're gonna lean towards football.
Got to.
You know, honestly, it was basketball, man. Yeah, basketball was. But it's one of those deals. You can just pick up a ball and you can just dribble. You know what I mean? You can just go shoot by yourself.
You don't need nobody.
You don't need anybody, right? Yeah, it's like I remember my first. I really don't have first memories in football. My first memory in basketball is here at the Optimist Club. I think I was like in 4th or 5th grade, had the Kobe fro.
Yes, sir.
And I went through.
Yeah,
right, straight up. Yeah, man. Yeah. And then I went through my legs like, you know, when you practice and whatnot, and like I went through my legs in the game without thinking, and that's some of my first basketball memories, man. Right at the Optimist, I can show you the spot. I can show you the spot. Yeah, I was like, oh, we here. You know what I mean?
Show me the spot tomorrow.
Yeah.
So boom. So basketball is your first sport. It's crazy you say that because I don't know if you've seen the show with Dominique Franks. He said the same thing. Oh,
Dom is so cold at basketball. We would do like during the off season here, we'd work out, and then we'd have like little teams get together. We'd go over to the basketball courts, and Dom he was just so nice, man.
Bro,
smart,
what is it with football
athletic
players loving basketball first?
Because you can be an individual, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys, I'll say this, a lot of the guys that go play here at OU, they were the #1 guy usually throughout their career, you know, so you kind of have that chip on your shoulder and you're one of those guys, and basketball allows you to be the face of something.
Yes.
So, you know, if I'm shooting a 3, like, everybody can see me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you
football,
go.
like, I got to get mad at the coach, or I got to get mad at the quarterback for not throwing me the ball, you know what I mean? Basketball, it's like, oh, you pass it? All right, let's go. You know what I mean?
Or you ain't got to pass it.
You ain't got to pass it.
You go get that thing off the board.
Yeah,
push,
you're right. Yeah.
Push. Yeah. No, that's dope, man.
That makes sense why basketball is always chosen first, because you seen. People like like to be
get to
seen
be
playing
out
the
there.
sport.
Yeah.
I mean, look good, play good. So.
Right.
Hey, to your point,
Yeah.
Tracy McGrady's my favorite player. Obviously, Kobe and
T-Mac.
T-Mac.
I used to have his shoes.
Bruh.
The blue on the
Oh, yeah,
tip.
I did.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I did too. You ain't never
I
had
did
no
too.
Kobe's from the boats. You ain't had a boats.
Boy,
I had the boats.
spaceships.
You had the
They
spaceship?
called the space boots. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? You gotta know the real name.
Because I ain't never rocked.
They was the space boots. And
never
then
rocked
T-Mac wanted some space boots himself. That's why he had the toe. They look like little.
Nah, heck
Them
no.
little
Was he
Marshall
jocking?
shoes.
He was jocking?
No,
I feel
he
like,
hate.
look, you
He
didn't think
hate.
them
He
was
hate.
That blue was sweet.
That
like,
motherfucker-
but the
he
spaceship
hated.
was clunky.
He
though. I don't
hated.
know if he was
Them was
jocking.
low-key
He hate.
conky
He
too.
hate. So boom. Look, to your point, you said basketball, you can go do it. You don't need nobody. Tracy
Yeah.
McGrady's my favorite player. I remember when he got to the playoffs. I believe it was against the Mavericks, man. First round. He never got out the first round of the playoffs. I believe it was the Mavericks. They took whatever lead they took. They were supposed to
Is that when
win
he
the
scored like
series.
12 points in like 20 seconds?
No, that's
He
the
was on
that's the
Houston.
Rockets.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
okay.
Orlando days.
Yeah.
So long story short, man, they blow the series, losing the first round. You know what I'm saying? And it was late night game. I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock at night. I was so mad. I took a basketball, ran to the court late night, and just shot around until, cause that was my dude, man. Like you
T-Mac
can't
was a
do that
good
in football. Is
dude.
basically why I'm going with it. It's like
Right.
you get that mad. What you gonna do? Go out there at 8, 9 o'clock at night? I don't know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's to your point.
Yeah.
I see now why it's most football players, like basketball too. So
Yeah.
boom. So first sport was football. Then you picked up basketball. When did you pick up track?
Second grade. I did Hershey's track meet probably until about 6th grade. So we're just athletes,
He was
man.
in the fire forever.
We were in it, man. We were. It was crazy because like
never
we
had a
weren't-
summer.
We weren't bred like the kids are today, where you're doing camp after camp after camp. It was just like, okay, you're playing this season, you're playing this, you're playing this. It was never play this season, go with this trainer. Play this season, go with this trainer. It was play this season, play this season, play this season,
Right.
and it was always competitive. We were always on competitive teams throughout. So it wasn't, and it was. We had the ball, you know. It was
training-
always competitive. So like, if you don't ball, you're not playing, you know.
Right.
So, and that started in 2nd grade.
And our training was consistently playing because we didn't have no like
Exactly.
You said, no train. So the
Yep.
you training as you was playing. As
You was
a young
out
age.
there.
The younger the age you get started, that was you learning the
That
more,
was
playing
it.
the more. So
Yep.
yeah, that's tough.
Yep.
So track at 2nd grade. I ain't even like you're opening my mind right now because I didn't know you can play football that early. I didn't know you could.
Well,
play
it was
track
flag
that early.
football from 2nd to 4th grade, and then tackle in 5th grade.
Tackle
and
in
obviously
5th grade.
basketball, you can play whenever.
You
and
can
then
play whenever.
track, Hershey track meet, they don't do it anymore, I don't believe. But yeah, it was right here at Norman High, and it was just about every year. I did it because my older brother was fast as ever. He did the hurdles, he did everything, and so I wanted to be like him. And it was one of those things like, take your brother. You know what I mean, Mom? Like, take your brother. You know. So this is what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it when I moved here in 2011, and I found out that you guys do play tackle football in middle school. I
Yeah.
was like, that is not fair because I'm from Sacramento. We
Oh,
play
they don't-
flag in middle
In
school.
middle school.
Whoa.
And either you played.
Whoa, you
Either
way
you played for the
behind.
either you played for the Pop Warner team all the way until freshman year of high school,
Yeah.
or you weren't playing no tackle. So like Pop Warner was more of the way, the route to go.
For sure, yeah.
And when I moved out here, I was like, well, I feel like that's so much better that y'all do it in middle school. Like, this is a football state for sure. Yeah, man. In middle school, it was still flag football.
Really?
That's
Yes.
nuts.
Yeah, the big thing for us though, I remember like we couldn't lift weights until 7th grade. So we were out there banging up each other and having
We
a
good in
good
the
time.
mug.
But you know what I mean? We weren't under any
all right. No
weights.
one really getting hurt
Yeah, and it's crazy too because I just got I had a friend of mine just highlight like all my highlight tapes. He broke down all my film, and so we broke down 7th grade and 8th grade. And you can definitely tell the transformation from 7th to 8th grade because I had a year of weights.
Oh,
under.
goodness.
Oh, it was night and day. I was still balling, but I took it to a next level in 8th grade. It was crazy.
You think they do that to keep guys from getting hurt?
Yeah, I just think that your body's not ready for it.
Body's not ready.
Yeah, and I think that's scientifically proven too.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, then you can't use that as a reason why you're short because you ain't live. I'm just playing.
I don't know what happened. I swear I was 5'10" in like 8th grade, and I just stopped growing, man. Yeah.
And he'll go up and go
Yeah,
get it
and
like he was
yeah,
6'6",
for sure.
so,
You
hey.
gotta have a heart. Man.
Go get it though. That's all that
for
matters.
real.
So it's like Kansas. They play with the 28-5 all the way to high school.
Ball size.
Ball size basketball.
Okay.
They play with the girls' ball basically.
Yeah.
All the way up to high school, and I don't get that.
I think we did too. To be honest, I don't know. Don't quote me, but I don't think we went to men's ball until later on.
You sure? Cause now
Are they
switch.
in men's now?
Now they 7th grade basketball. They playing with men's ball.
Okay.
That's why I'm like not lifting until middle school. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, cause you're not ready. What's the reason why you think they wouldn't play with the men's ball in middle school to get them ready for high school? That ball size matters.
I don't know, because you can make more shots with that smaller ball. Let's get some points. Let's get some points. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like freshman year, especially today, me and Twan were talking about this. Dudes is so much more advanced.
For sure.
Like skill-wise.
Yeah.
If you're not getting your kids, like our community, we got a small community in Norman.
Yeah.
If we're not getting our kids, we are, but Kansas, obviously, they're the ones doing that. But if we're not getting our kids ready early, when we go play Texas teams and even up in the city.
So my son, I'm coaching my son's team. He's in kinder preschool, and he just started flag football right now, 5 years old. I didn't start playing football until 8.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's even turned up now, Yeah.
Hey, well, we got 6-year-olds getting ranked just by saying their name.
Yep.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
I'm glad you told me you got a 5-year-old because we got to get a 1st grade team put together for basketball.
Gotta do it.
Unless you already got one, then we'll jump on y'all squad.
No, I'm trying to find one.
Okay, let's put one together. We're gonna talk about that later.
For sure.
We're gonna talk about that later. So let's get into high school. So you get to high school.
Hold on, before we get to high school, when did you first get ranked? Because you said you was ranked at a young age.
I don't think there was an official ranking. So. Yeah, well, like I was always like the guy, like. Yeah. I don't know how else to.
I like that.
I don't know how else to say it.
How it is, bro.
Well, no, I'm not.
Like for real, I was just like, you can't sugarcoat that because then it's gonna sound wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, like.
You was just in the paper.
Yeah, if you ball, you're in the paper,
That's just what it was.
So I don't think there was like a ranking, but it was like
no prep.
Like this is gonna be a kid that can make it. Like I remember when I was in 6th grade, like I always played quarterback, right? And then I had a coach in 6th grade. He was like, "Hey Ryan, like if you can make it to the NFL." Like he literally told me, "You can make it to the NFL if you move to receiver." And I moved to 6th grade. 6th grade. Well, yeah, and then I went to the league at receiver.
Right. What was that coach's name?
Scott Hecox, man. He was actually like adopted father of mine. Yeah, he passed away like 10 years ago, man. I remember at college, like my senior year, I had a what do you call it, a towel, and I had his name on it and whatnot. But yeah, he was one that got us going. Basketball, we did some light training at his house, and he was just a hard-nosed dude, man. But yeah, he was a guy that was like, "Yo, Ryan, like, we know you want the ball, but hey, you're better off out here." And I did.
Gym dropping alert.
Yeah.
That's a major gym because obviously quarterbacks, they get the most love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like in basketball, everybody wants to be a ball handler, point guard. But you got to really take a hard look at yourself and analyze, where do I fit best? Where do I fit best? That's what you did.
Well, you got to have a coach that knows. I didn't know what I was doing in 6th grade. I wanted the ball, said hut, and then I'm running. You know what I mean? Like, that was life. Yeah, that was life. Yeah.
But
like, what else do you do, man? But, yeah, he said it, and I'm like, all right. Like, I trust you.
But that's the thing, though. Like, you trusted him. But it's a lot of people today, man. Like,
they
coaches trying to put
issue.
They want to force the issue.
Yeah.
You're 6'5", and you trying to bring the ball down. That's cool if you can do that.
Yeah.
But make that an attribute that you added
be in a spot,
as opposed to just only thing you want to do.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For
Or, a guy who's 6'6" can jump out the gym, but he wants to sit there in the pocket. See if you got hands, go get it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a major gym, man. Yep. People listening out there, I wish they all take a hold on to that for sure. For sure. So high school. Talk to me about high school.
What do you want to know, man?
Man, I just want to know. Boom, they don't let football players play varsity as a freshman, right?
They don't, and I was actually in that conversation to do that, man. It never happened. Yeah, but it's crazy because I balled out my freshman year, and then I started varsity my sophomore year, and I led the state at corner in interceptions my sophomore year. So I feel like I could have played my freshman year, but it didn't work that way, and not that I mattered,
Right.
Yeah, so they do it. I don't think they do it still. I know there's one kid here, his name's Mike Hill. He just suited up with varsity as a freshman. And so they're saying he's the next best football player out of Oklahoma or out of Norman.
But he may not play varsity.
Larry's son. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know how it works. But, yeah, they usually don't let the guys go up. They just play freshmen, and then they go into varsity.
In Cali, they did. That was one thing they did let us do.
They let freshmen play up?
Freshmen
Yeah,
play up
for sure.
So that was one thing I guess we had an advantage on. But, shoot. I wish I could have
But
played with some pads earlier.
I'm about to say, if they gonna let y'all
I'm
play
not gonna
up,
lie.
let
I
y'all
wish I
get
could've
banged
played
up.
with
For
pads
sure.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I seen that, I
That's
was
a
amazed by
concussion
that. I'm not
waiting
gonna lie,
to
I was
happen.
amazed by that because I moved in Oklahoma in 2011. I was just amazed.
I just couldn't see it, though. Being 14 and playing against 18-year-olds, that's just too night and day, you know.
Well, if they was nice,
If they're nice, though, yeah, that's true.
Especially
That's
for playoffs.
true.
Especially for playoffs, they was pulling them up.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
But my
I
thing
can
is,
see
if they
that.
not gonna let y'all hit, they definitely shouldn't pull y'all up in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So here, if we're gonna let each other hit in middle school, then I feel like
Then
it's
it makes
okay.
sense, but you
It
can't
makes
just
no
come
sense.
out on the pads and then go play with the big dogs.
Right, you can't come
that's
from
kinda-
flag and get
But
hit
hey,
by
if you ain't
18.
getting touched, then hey, you know, yeah.
Having some, I mean, mainly be like linemen too. Most of the time, the big linemen.
Yeah, I
and
can
stuff
see that.
like
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some skill players
Yeah.
got pulled up.
They be
Yeah.
more war ready, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
It was rare for most, quarterbacks or something to get up there. But I mean, for playoffs, we was suited up on the sideline.
Yeah.
We ain't played.
Straight
sit on
up.
the
You
sideline,
out there,
hey.
though. Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
say
it's a
that.
good
Yeah,
feeling. Yeah. You got the
Tell me
jersey
nothing
on.
different.
Yeah. That's real.
So one thing I want to know from a football player's perspective, right? You know, basketball players, they're in the gym while the football players is in football. You feel me?
You're right. You're
and
right.
so that's the time where they getting ready and they trying to prove they better than whatever football players coming
Damn,
in.
we come in big body
I
with the
know
weights, the muscle too,
everything.
just hard balance. That was me, yeah, for sure. You're like, you too aggressive. Like, yo, I just took off the pads.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
it's gonna take me 2 months to dial this back.
Yeah,
I feel real
for
strong
sure.
on the court now.
Yeah.
So whenever you came in, was there a different? I mean, I guess you kind of just alluded to it because you was coming in aggressive. Was there ever like, I'm gonna come in and take these boys' spots because they not ready for what blah blah blah? I don't know. I just want to know what that perspective is like, because as a coach, like I coach with Kellen McCoy. Shout out to Kellen.
I played with Kellen.
Yeah, I coach with him at on the freshman level. So I coach for his freshman team, and so I was coaching the team, and I'm like, y'all in here, y'all ain't going hard. These football players about to come in, and they about to push y'all around.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I just want you to touch on that for me a little bit.
Yeah, I love football. That was my thing. So I didn't care what they were doing in the gym, man. And it obviously you're a little slow. The season's over, and you kind of want to kick back, but you're already 2-3 weeks behind. So you got to go in and get in basketball shape.
Right.
So you're already a little bit sluggish, and you're trying to figure it out.
Basketball shape and
It's
football
just
shape.
different.
It just
And your
feels
body's
different.
already beat up a little bit too, and it takes you halfway through the season to get right, you know. And I would say I was a pretty good basketball player. I never had the jumper, and it's because I wasn't in the gym enough.
Right.
It was like sport to sport to sport, but I was aggressive. I could play defense, and I could show when I needed. But yeah, that mental switch is a little bit different. Basketball players, they got the finesse, but the football guys come off the field, and we've already been a little beat up, so you're just. I swear I probably almost fouled out every game because I was just aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you turn it off? I don't know if it's possible sometimes. Yeah.
But see, I was a basketball guy that played football. So I was good at football. But I was
But you were really a basketball player.
So
Yeah.
I'm that finesse receiver.
I can see that. That's what my little
So,
brother was
yeah,
at. My little brother was at. Yeah.
That's what I like. So, but I'm not gonna lie. That transition from when I got done playing football to getting on that basketball court,
Yeah.
I had to knock some shackles off.
It was
it's like,
different,
It's
yeah.
different. Yeah, it's different muscles and different
Yeah.
finesse moves.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So it took a while to kind of break into
does.
mode for that. But yeah, I liked it. I was that guy
He was
who
that finesse.
he's that basketball player, but I'll come out here and play football with y'all.
Ah,
I
that's
like
my little
coming to the
brother.
court.
Yeah.
'Cause like you said, you're going to beat them around now. Like, get
Yep,
into the paint
for
or
sure.
that little bit of tissy fouls you get. That ain't
Yeah,
nothing no
nothing.
more.
Whatever.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
ain't nothing no more.
Play up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
for sure.
nah, that's cool, man. So like you'd come in, you said you'd foul out almost or be close to fouling out.
For sure. I'm just
almost every
aggressive,
game.
yeah.
How long did you end up playing basketball?
I played all the way through my junior year.
So no senior year basketball.
No, I was all football at that point. Finished football
where you was
season.
going.
I had the offers already committed, man, and pretty much committed, and I was just done. But yeah, we had a good run, man. We were always top 5 in the state. I was
Did you play
a
with Kellen in high
preseason
school?
All-American, man, too. So
For
like
football?
basketball.
Hey,
What?
turn
Yeah,
up.
McDonald's All-American. Yeah,
Bruh.
I was all right, man.
Oh man.
yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Hey, listen, any state runs in basketball?
No, we could have got it my senior year. We could have. We had Terrence Boyd.
You sold.
You mean T. Boyd? He played at Oak
T-Boyd.
Hill. He came here. We had Austin
nice.
Allen. We had some players, man, and it just, you know,
Well, I feel like you
I was
played
ready
with
to move
Kellen.
on.
Was you before
Kellen, I was young, yeah. So Kellen would have been a senior when I was a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was always like, I was a point guard. He was always the real point guard, and I was like a little backup. So until he left, and I got to go in and do my thing. But
Got you.
yeah, Kellen was always a good role model, good friend of this day too.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. So y'all had a chance to win it your senior year, and
Just didn't go. Didn't go.
do you
man.
regret that?
Why would he? Why would he?
I just want to know. Preseason All-American. You
No.
might have a chance. Oak Hill transfer. I mean, I just want
But
to know.
I was all football though, so it wasn't like a thing to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I probably averaged, I think it was like 18 points a game or something like that, and it was just something I did. You know what I mean? I had fun doing it.
6A basketball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bro, I'm sure somebody's going to be jealous of you that you walked away from 18 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, because that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hard to do. So salute to you on that.
Yeah.
So boom, you chose OU obviously.
Yep.
Was there any pressure to stay home, or was that just a no-brainer for you?
Well, what offers mainly did you have? What was like
So
your
I had
top
pretty
five?
much all the Big 12 offers. No, Texas didn't come through. I had some SEC. I had Big 10.
That's the
heard that
second
about
person.
We had my
might have
boy
been
Frank
third.
Shannon on here talking
Yeah,
about how-
Texas was
and
just
he a
slow
Texas
playing, man. I got a
boy.
bunch of letters from them, but like they never pulled the trigger, and I think they just wanted to stay home in Texas. But believe it or not, OU, I was the last. There was a kicker offered before I was to OU, and it's just they were just sleeping on us, man. Like even my boy Moses Madu a year before, they waited forever to offer him, and then they did the same thing with me. So what happened during my recruiting process is I committed to Oklahoma State because they came in early, and I'm like, you know what, like. That's cool. I'll go up the road and go play ball up there. It's not too far. They were on the up. They were
And
they were
and
putting
they're
some
always
money in there.
competitive.
Yeah, and they were throwing the ball around a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do that. And then literally the day I committed, Kel Gundy at OU calls me because he sees the news and he's like, hey Ryan, like we want to offer you now. And I'm like. So I'm not gonna lie, I took it.
Right.
Right. We're here now.
But then a day later, then a couple days later, I'm like, no, I just felt wrong. So I was like, hey, Coach Gundy at OU and Gunnar Brewer, OSU, Gunnar Brewer was receiver coach. I was like, all right, I'm gonna decommit from OU and I'm gonna come back here. And then it was a 2-month process where like OU's calling me left and right. Obviously OSU's still on the phone, and then my gut was just like, man, we got to go win championships. I got to set myself up for the league. And then obviously my parents are here, and I had a girlfriend at the time, which is my wife. And I was like, man,
Fire.
it only makes sense to stay here.
Right.
Yeah,
And it worked out.
for sure.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, you never know sometimes if you made the right decision.
Yeah,
Could you have still gone to OSU and make it? Sure.
for sure.
But from what it looked like, you made the right decision.
It was a good one. Yeah, I would have made it work anywhere, to be honest with you. But
Right.
Yeah, it's why I leave here, and I was a hometown kid, and I stayed at my mom's. My freshman year, I had to stay in the dorm. Sophomore year, we got to move out, so I moved back home with my mom.
Right
so
in
like,
Norman, look,
yeah,
right down the
right down the street. Yeah, so it was the
Dope.
best of the. It was an awesome opportunity.
Dope.
Yeah, and it's crazy that OU's always at the top, and I grew up right here in Norman. You know, like it
that's
was
love.
never a thing to me until like, wow, like I'm a senior. And they're playing for championships, and it's like literally down the street,
Down the street.
down the street, yeah,
They're playing for
yeah,
championships.
yeah.
When did the college football come around? That was about the college football playoffs come around like 5 years ago.
It was
6 years
well
ago?
after me.
Working on 6 right now.
Yeah, it
Working
had
on
to been.
6?
Yeah, yeah.
That was well after you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you come in freshman year running, or did you have to work a little harder? Or did you feel
Man,
comfortable
I
in
was
the
actually
system?
about to start playing. I was like the 4th receiver, man. I was about to get reps. I remember coming out here like juking these dudes, man. I'm like, dang,
This
they
feel
didn't
good.
offer me, and I'm like, is this it? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, is this it? Like,
This is why they didn't offer me?
Well, no, I was just like these dudes are strong. Don't get me wrong. Like I remember Keenan Clayton. He's big linebacker, right? Just yoked up. That boy's been in the weight room, and I'm over here like 19 years old, barely picked up a weight, right?
Yeah.
And I was in the slot, and he would just always just man arm me, just putting stiff arm me,
One
and
little
I'm all out of my lane, and I'm like, yo,
Get
okay,
off,
that was the
out.
only thing. But I was like, if I can get past him, I'm making plays, and I kept making plays, and then I got into some trouble right before the first game. I was gonna get rotation there. Got suspended my first year. I got suspended my first year, and then I was
The whole first year?
Yeah, the whole year, and I was on practice squad the whole time, or scout team. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that was good for me, man, because like it humbled me. Like obviously, like I said, like growing up, like I was always the guy. Not that I was a cocky person, but it was like, this came easy to me. I can do my thing.
I feel it.
Yeah, and so I think that's what even turned me up a little bit more, because I'm sitting over here like watching my boys get to work on Saturdays.
You had a renewed
and
focus.
I was just like a little puppet running plays on scout team, and I'm like, this ain't it. Yeah, so like during scout team, I was like, I'm not gonna let this year be wasted. Like I'm gonna come in here and like learn. And so like,
I heard how they made y'all be on the scout team.
oh yeah, we're in there.
Yeah, exactly how they
exactly.
I don't care.
This card says
blown up.
this card says this.
I don't care if you know.
You want me to run in the triple team, bro? Like, no, I'm not doing that. So like literally, Coach Venables would hate me because I'm like, no, bro, I'm not about to just run. I'm trying to get better too.
Team.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm doing them, bro. Like I'm really doing them out there. Scout team quarterback, like, hey, good job, Brian. I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to just coach say run 10 yards and then cut in. No, I'm going 15 if it's open there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's real life. So I'm trying to get better.
But
it definitely helped me out.
About to say, like, look at what happened the next year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But before we get into the next year, what'd you get in trouble for? You can't get past that.
Man, I just, this crazy, man. It's part of my life. So I was stealing gas, man.
Copy.
Yep. So had a code, had a key. Went to the gas station, man, and pulled up. Yeah. I didn't have any money either, man. You know what I mean?
That's the life of a college athlete, though.
Just got to get by, man.
Period.
College period, but like, especially the college athlete, your life is not your own. You got to go here.
For sure. You don't have time to do anything.
You don't have time to do anything.
Yep.
If you could have gone and worked and made some money, you ain't got time to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did get the stipend, and I would even say this. I think it was a smart choice of mine. We got $2,000 a year, and my freshman year, I bought a car with that.
That's smart.
Yeah, I bought a car with that.
But $2,000 a year ain't nothing.
Well, yeah, but I'm just like, I didn't just go blow it. I bought a car, and then we would get our monthly or weekend checks. It was like $50 when we were in the dorm, and that was my gas money, that was my food money, that was my cell phone money, that was my insurance money, and then there was nothing. It wasn't anything really,
right.
So it was like, all right, like how do you survive?
Right.
You got to find a way. You know what I mean?
Man,
yeah.
I've said it before, and I'm trying to get more comfortable saying it because I want people to hear it. I'm $150,000 in student loan debt because when I went to school first, much like you, I ain't had it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was taking out the student loans for myself because I went away to school
for you to
from
live.
Florida to Kansas. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Kansas, bro.
Yeah.
I'm in Kansas. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, mom's just sending me what she can, but when I get this check, I send her what I got too.
For sure.
And so, you know what I'm saying? 2010, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
From 2010, I'm doing that all the way to 2013.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I ain't even get no college degree while playing ball. It was after basketball, I tried to go overseas, win a little bit, played a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I realized, unless you came straight from D1, you ain't gonna make all that big money overseas.
Oh,
That's
really?
when I went back to school online.
Yep.
And then I got my bachelor's,
I
got my bachelor's and my associates at the same time because I messed around in JUCO. So while I'm getting my bachelor's, I sent credits back to my JUCO so they can give me that associate's just so I didn't leave it on the table because I worked for it. I just didn't have that biology credit, I think it was. I think it was biology or math. So I sent that credit back and got that associate's the same time I was getting my bachelor's. And I got my master's degree. So long story short, man, $150,000 in debt because going into it, I thought I was gonna be better taken care of.
For sure.
And I'm talking about stomach growling that night. Bruh, my brother was in the Navy.
We used to live on just shakes,
Dog.
protein shakes. Like that was it. That's all we had.
Dog, my brother in the Navy, and he was stationed in Japan. There's a 13-hour time difference, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We'd be on the phone. He'd order me pizza from Japan, 13 hours ahead or behind.
Wow.
It was rough, bro.
Wow.
So, which is why I'm $150,000 in debt.
Yep.
I was ashamed of it at first, but this show is for us to put that kind of stuff out there so people can make better decisions. So here it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting more comfortable saying that. But that's rough, boy. That's rough, man. So, boom. So you had that basically redshirt year.
Yep.
And then talk to us about sophomore season.
Okay, so just to keep it real, man. First game out, it's the craziest thing. It's crazy that I even look back on it this way. My first 2 plays in college was a catch for about 40 yards. Second play was a touchdown. And that was the first time I ever touched the field.
Perfect.
That was
Picture
like
perfect, man. It was
perfect.
And so like, and I was like, yo, this is it?
I'm here.
Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I went on, I set a freshman record that game. I had like 7 catches, 141 yards and a touchdown. And then like I was punt returning, I was catching, like I was the dude. You know what I mean?
That stadium really give you life like that?
What's that?
That stadium, just playing in there.
Yeah, man, just so much energy, man. It's just, but you know, when you're out on the field, you don't hear anything.
Right. Still even in there?
And when you're on the sideline, yeah. When we say hut, I don't hear it.
That's how it is in basketball.
Yeah.
You get the bubble guts.
You do like after and
then that whistle blows.
It's over with.
You zoned in.
For sure. Like I remember there was times where like you get up and you celebrate and it's like you just out of body, but like literally after every game I would go home. I don't care if it's midnight. Like I would just wait until the news is on. I would hop on like the internet and see what they're saying because I had to like relive it because I like didn't really live it. You know what I mean? I didn't really live it. I was out there and I'm like,
that's so crazy how I get that.
Yeah,
like, for real.
Cause you was out of body, like
out of body,
now you have to go see, like, yo, did I really just do that to him? Like, did I really just do that?
It's crazy. Like now that I'm so many years removed, I'm like, man, they can't take any of that back either, man.
No,
like
sir.
I made the most of all those opportunities.
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So first game, sophomore year, Butter has arrived. Butter was here to stay.
Man,
Biscuit.
like it was crazy. Like I said, I had that aha moment. Like, is this it? So like my first game out, I balled. Second game, I caught like this slant, like on like I don't know, it was like the first quarter, like spun off like 2 dudes, ran like 80 yards, and I'm like, yo, this is my second game in college. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, what? And then like the next game, a punt return. I'm like, fire. This is it.
Household.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
Oh,
it was wild. And then after that, it was like, all right, just keep doing what you're doing. Just be intentional when you're in practice. And like, then that's when I was like, oh, you're about to break Mark Clayton's records. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, see, now I got like something to shoot for. So like, I just kept working and just, you know what I mean?
So like,
like, oh, let me keep going. Yeah.
So like, did you ever settle down into like, okay, this is what's expected, or did you always just wow yourself?
I wowed myself, but I was just whenever I have the opportunity to catch a ball and make a play, like I feel like it's my only opportunity.
Yes.
Especially as a receiver, like granted I had like 10 catches a game at OU, but most times you get 5 catches a game.
Right.
And I was always one of those guys, like even when I was a little kid, like if I get the ball, my dad would always say, you can't make plays on the ground, don't get tackled, and pressure bust pipes. Like that's the 3 things my dad would always say. So like, all right, like this ain't nothing.
Write it down.
Yeah, like
write it down.
Nothing's too big, And so like I was doing that from 2nd grade on. So when I got out here, I'm like, all right, like I'm not about to get tackled, and I didn't get tackled. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that type of, obviously you get tackled.
Right, but it's yards
But it's
later.
like there's many times where it's like I just had that mentality not to get tackled. And one of my biggest pet peeves, even to this day, you'll see a receiver run down and catch like a 40-yard pass, catch it and run out of bounds. Like, nah, bro. Like, go get in the end zone. So, like, if you see my highlights, like, I'm literally diving in the end zone if I'm close.
Yeah.
I'm going to score.
Even if you fall.
Yeah, like, this is going to be mine. I'm not giving it to the running back. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, straight up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm giddy right now. I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun. I'm enjoying this, bro. So, junior year. Let's get into junior year.
Yeah.
What happened in junior year? Same things? Did you break the record by then? Clayton's?
Yeah, so I think I broke his record. I may have broken my sophomore year. Because obviously it's how many catches you have a season. So I think he had like 80 my freshman year. Or my sophomore year, I think he had like 83 catches. I had 89. So I beat him. And then I was like at the leaderboard. And then my junior year, I had 131 catches. And I was like leading the country then. So then it was like, all right, now you got that year and this year. Now you're all-time leading receiver in OU history. And, like, I still got another year and a half left. You know what I mean? And so then it was like, oh, well, he's like, he has opportunity of breaking Big 12 records.
Right.
Receiver and, you know what I mean?
Right.
Receiving yards. And every game I went out there, man, it was just, like.
Something to play
And I tell
for.
my wife all the time, like, there was so many times where, like, I would just be like, if another player made a play, like, I would just be like, yo, thank you, man. Like, thank you. Because I felt like I was always the one making the plays. And that's been my whole life.
Right.
I always wanted to make it, but, man, it's such a relief when you go to the huddle and be like, hey, bro, good job. Like, you took the pressure off me. You know what I mean?
Pressure
yeah,
off.
but I've always lived that way, though. Yeah.
When I moved here, my uncle brought me to my first OU game, and I think it was like, I want to say your junior year on punt return, and I remember I was like, this is Ryan Broyles right here. I'm taking snaps.
Oh, really? Hey, let's go.
That's fire.
Let's go.
Punt return, you might have even housed that punt return.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but it was back in 2011 when I first got here, my first OU game.
Yeah.
I was like, I get to finally see this cat.
Would you see it on, like, TV or something?
No, I was at the game.
But I'm saying, how did you know about me, though?
Oh, my uncle. See, my family
they're
is
from out
here.
here. Oh,
so
okay,
when I was in California, you know, my uncle, big OU fan, he was hooting around about you all the time. Ryan Broyles, we got this receiver.
Let's go.
And I was like, man, but when I
Whatever.
come out there, you gotta
like,
bring
I
me to
gotta
go
see.
see it.
Yeah.
Man, it was, hey, I ain't gonna lie. What they said happened.
He's like, okay.
Hey,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
You was right. Yeah. You was right.
He
My
got
bad.
hands. He got hands. He got mad hands.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
it's a
awesome.
sight to watch, man. It was enjoyable watching.
Heck, I
for sure.
appreciate that, man. For
So-
sure. I had fun, man.
So we hit a high. Now we gotta come and bring it down a little bit because you got injured your senior year.
Yep.
When did you get injured? Early or late?
It was late. It was the 8th game. So I'll just give you a little spin before that because I do this often, man. So my junior year, I had 131 receptions, like 15 touchdowns, and I'm like probably top 8 receiver that could get drafted. And
Let's go.
I was, it was Julio Jones up there, AJ Green up there, Jonathan Baldwin up there. So like, and it was a lockout year, and I'm 5'10". These dudes are over 6'3", and so it's like, all right, I put my grade in, and they're like, Ryan, you got a 2nd round grade, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm too cold to just get a 2nd round grade.
Facts.
And it was the lockout year,
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back. I've got the opportunity of like being one of the all-time leading reception leaders in the country ever, break all the records at OU, and I can come back and hopefully get this 1st round grade. So I came back. Balled out, 8th game of the year right here in the stadium here in Norman. I remember it was like an over route. It was like that was my bread and butter. Like nobody could touch me in there. So like roll out, go across the field. Landry throws in the ball probably 20 yards down. This guy, I don't know who it was, but he grabbed my jersey. And I'm like, yo, he ain't about to tackle me. Like literally in my brain, he's not tackling me. So like I jump and I see the safety come at me. I jump and I'm like, all right, he's not tackling me either. Like so I'm spinning. Put my leg in the ground, it was locked, and then it just popped on me, man. I just hit the ground. I was like, yo, this didn't feel right. So like, I see the picture all the time, like my head just like turned to the side, and my butt's in the air, and I'm just like, dang, right? So like, I get up, trainers come out, and I'm walking, I feel my knee buckle back, just like bang, 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 and I'm like, nah, I'm good, man, I'm good. You know what I mean? Then I get up on the table, and like dude checking my knee, then he leans over and whispers in my ear like, Ryan, you tore your ACL, and then I just like broke down. Because I've never been like, I've had ankles and, I've never broken any bones.
Banged up.
And, and I was like, yo, this is real. So like I go to the training room, my wife's there, my agent was there too, and it's the first game he came to see me. Go to the training room and I'm just in there just shook, and I'm looking at my wife like, yo, like I literally thought football was done for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, man, like I gotta go get a job. Like that was the words I told her. Like and my agent was like, no, we're gonna get you in. You can go. We got some of the best doctors around the country you can go to, and so did that whole rehab thing, man.
How long it take you to rehab? I know normally it's 8 months.
Yeah, it's around 8 months, but I went. Well, obviously I had the pro day, so I was one of the better receivers coming out. I went to the combine. I got to do the bench of the combine, but I didn't get to perform or anything. So
I mean, I know you killed the weights.
Yeah, like I think I was a top receiver. I had like 24 reps, I think, at 225. Yeah, but that's all I could do. You know what I mean? For months,
even with no knee, you.
I was like, I gotta show him something. You know what I mean? It was all chest. Yeah. So anyway, I just did that at the combine. Did some of the interviews, and then even during that time, my agent was like, we've got teams saying that you're going to go undrafted, you're going to go 1st round. We just don't know what's going to happen. And so obviously, I got drafted in the second round. But yeah, I came back, held my own pro day, had just about every team in the country come out. I was about 4 months outside of my ACL. Ran the 40 then, I did vertical jump, I didn't do the broad jump, and I ran routes. And like literally halfway through my routes, one of the head scouts was like, Ryan, like we've seen enough, you're good. I'm sitting there like, dang, like I hope that's a good thing.
Right.
Like was I limping? You know what I mean? I didn't know.
Shit,
Yeah. But he was like, and I remember like they came and interviewed, he was like, Ryan, like you just made some money back. And I'm just like, what? Like I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but like, okay, cool. Like, all right, I must have done something right. And then my name gets called, you know, during the draft in the second round.
Did your 40 time drop, or did it improve, or did it stay the same after the ACL?
Nah, that's hard to tell, man. Like I honestly, the fastest time the time of my life that I was the fastest was probably my sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
And then I just started putting on bulk and obviously some
muscle.
wear and tear and stuff. And you know, I got smarter. So that's how I could still get open and things like that. But I think the fastest part of my life was probably my sophomore year.
So it didn't even matter at that point. You just knew what you
knew the
had.
game. You knew, you know how your body works. You know how to read the defense. You know what the team expects from you, you know, and just that's why you hear about Jerry Rice. He wasn't the fastest person. He was smart. He was resilient. He stayed healthy, you know, and so that's how it works sometimes.
You're not touching me. You're not tackling me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. I ain't going down.
That's happening, man. Yeah.
Cool, man. So then you went second round to the Lions, right?
Yep.
You went second round to the Lions. I almost said the Pistons.
Yeah, basketball.
You went second round to the Lions.
Yeah.
And then did you get hurt again
I did,
that
man.
first year, or was it the second year?
It was the first year. So it's what was that injury, man? I think it was like halfway through the year again. You know, I was battling through that ACL, trying to get up to par. The first few games, I didn't play much, you know, and I'm like, all right, I'm starting to feel healthy. Halfway through the season, all right, Ryan, you're starting. You're back out there doing your thing. We're at the Lions Stadium versus the Colts. Literally the first play of the game, man. Like, Stafford throws me like a little pop pass. I catch it probably on the 50-yard line. I catch it.
He was in the slot.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we're in a stack at that time, though. I catch it, and this dude comes, and he hits me, right? And, like, literally, like, I spin on the ground, and he's holding my leg. And, like, I can remember, like, the way we looked at each other. He knew something was wrong, and I knew something was wrong. Like, he literally, like, looked at me in my eyes and, like, dropped my leg.
Like, bro, don't drop it.
Like, my bad.
But it was almost like we both knew at the same time, and then that's like hopped off the field, man, and it was done then. Rehab, did that whole thing all over again, man, and then I come back the next year, other knee. Come back the next year, battling through the ACL, getting up to par, halfway through the season again. All right, Ryan, you're starting, and, you know, it was actually, what's
that's
a blessing
when you
for
know
me.
you're cold, bro, like.
Yeah, well, it was, you just put your time in, man. So,
For
like,
sure.
we get halfway through the season. All right, Ryan, you're starting. The blessing for me is Thanksgiving Day. You know, obviously the Lions always play on Thanksgiving. It was one of my best games ever in my career. I had, like, I don't know, 7 catches for, like, 140-something yards.
Fire.
Yeah, and
showed you
so
still
my
belong.
parents came out. My parents came out to that game, too. Well, then the following week, it's the Cowboys. I'm back on punt return. Ball goes up in the air. You know, I'm trying to, like, fair catch it, but, like, throw everybody off. I wasn't going to catch it. I stepped back to get out the way, and then pop. My Achilles popped, man.
Achilles?
My Achilles popped. And then I, like, stepped forward, and I felt like I was, like, stepping on, like, a cloud, right? It was just so weird. And then, like, I knew something wasn't right, and I, like, walked off the field, and I looked at my wife, and I'm, like, just tapped my chest, like, she already knows what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So then I'm on the training table again, and then I rehab again, and then my final year, I made it all the way through healthy, man, and it was time to be done.
So you wanted to have one solid year where you could say, you know, I completed it.
Well, yeah, I wanted to keep going, but my body wasn't going to allow it, you know, and even mentally, like, I was just like, man, just can't do another off season again like this, man. It was just mental wear and tear, like, why guys are, you go through a 16-week season, 18-week season, playoffs and whatnot, and you get to go to the beach and you get to hang out for a little bit, rest up. Like, I was season, and then I'm in California training, or I'm in Florida training just to get back up to par, you know. Yeah. And it was just like, man, I can't do this again. So I did have an aha moment after my.
So you had both knees and an Achilles.
Yeah, for sure.
That's tough.
Yeah. And then what's the blessing is I made it. I had great doctors and stuff, and I was resilient, and I made it my whole year. My last year healthy, man. So, and I played at a high level, so it's a blessing that you can go through some of those things and do that. But it was time for me. My mental was already gone, and I started making sure, like after my first ACL in college, I started reading up on some like, some finances and investment stuff. And I was like, man, like if this game's over, like I got to like at least set something up. So during those first few years in the league, like I'm already building my plan or my exit. And so then when I got to walk away on my terms, man.
You got to walk away on your terms.
For sure.
So what's the average playing time?
Career?
Or,
3.5 years.
Career.
Yep, and that's what I did.
So that's what you did.
That's what I did,
But you did it on your own time. Is that the average because guys normally don't get to stick in a league because somebody replaces them?
Well, you've got to think, like, for instance, if you're a first-round guy, you're pretty much guaranteed 4 years. If you're second round, you're guaranteed 3, and third, and so on. And then you're factoring in the first round that's going to get 4 years, and you got the free agent that gets a month.
Right.
And I think that's how they do it. And then there's so much turnover. So, for instance, the more you produce, you're going to be hitting the cap. So if I make it 4 years and my contract's called at $5 million, my next contract's got to be $30 million. So now the team's like, all right, do we bring in a young cat that can do just like he can, but for a fraction of the cost? And then that's when you start to see those guys bouncing around from team to team.
Okay.
Yeah. So they would love to keep you, but it's like, all right, and especially like a receiver. For instance, like if I'm the third receiver, you've got Calvin Johnson, right? He's going to catch 60% of the passes. Yeah. Then you got Reggie Bush. That's going to catch another 20% of the passes. And then you've got 3 or 4 other guys that can catch the other 30%. So it's like all these guys here are expendable. I can go get a 22-year-old to replace the 27-year-old because he's not the real focal point. Now, obviously, I would love to be the Calvin Johnson of the team, but that's how you start to see those guys at a third, fourth receivers. They start to bounce around because you can bring in a guy that's making $500,000 a year and not pay the guy $5 million a year.
So is that where the franchise tag thing comes in?
The franchise tag's almost like we need your services, but we're not betting on your future here, is what that is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you get a 4-year contract. The 5th year, you're supposed to sign another 4-year deal, but they're like, you know what? We're going to give you guaranteed this next year inflated prices. So, for instance, say you're a franchise year, you're supposed to get you've got to be paid. If you get franchised, you're paid like the top 5% of your position.
Right.
So you're getting an inflated income, but it's just for 1 year.
That year.
Yeah. And so if you bust, you know what I mean. If you don't have a good year.
That's cool. You got your bread, but
but then your next 4-year contract's going to be smaller. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So that's why guys are pressing for that contract. They don't want to be franchised.
See, in my mind, the whole time I thought being franchised was good.
Nah, it sounds like franchise player, but it's not, bro.
That's why I'm trying to be the franchise player.
That's why guys hold out. It's like, no, I'm not going to give you 1 year. Like you sign me, for instance, for a quarterback, you're going to take a franchise tag for $20 million, or I could sign a 5-year deal for $100 million right now. Right. You're taking the 5 all day.
All day long.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mahomes took that.
He was gonna get that. Yeah, for
sure.
That's next level. Yeah.
Bro, I saw the breakdown on that. I don't remember what it was. It was like $100.
Something like a day, all down to the second. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
$100 a day or whatever it was a second. I was tripping. Tripping on that.
Money, man.
But no, one thing that I look at so good that you did is at a young age, you was looking into your finances to make sure you had your backup plan ready, even while you were still having a chance to play.
For sure.
Because a lot of players would have probably blew that or
house,
WIC, that's the time to get it when you got it. Yeah. But you had your mind on the right path to do that. Like, did someone help you with that, or did you just kind of with everything?
Well, I was a bit scared, man. Like I said, at my senior year, I tore my ACL, and I literally told my wife, like, I've got to get a job. So I was like, all right, there's got to be something else out there for me. And I'm like, God, if I get blessed with the contract, like, I'm going to be smart with this. So it was a blessing that, I had the success, I had the scare, and then I had the wherewithal to be like, all right, Ryan, like think the future. Even with that, the timing of it all, and then my rookie year before the season, they take all the rookies together. You've heard of the rookie symposium?
Yep.
It's a rookie symposium. I think it's in Canton, Ohio. Get all the rookies together, and it's like literally like a boot camp where it's like, listen, guys, like we're talking financial advisors, we're talking insurance agents, we're talking
mental health.
I don't think there was much mental health. Like we even did like, food etiquette. Like, hey, you're gonna be meeting with businessmen. Like this is how you use the napkin. This is how you eat. This is how you eat. Yeah, it was like equipping you for life. Hey, here's a suit. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is how you do your suit. This is how you do your tie.
Oh,
and so like, and it was even like, this is what to expect from your family when you do get paid. It was all those things. But one of the things that stuck out to me was when we talked about finances, it talked about like 78% of athletes go broke.
78?
Yes, within 5 years of retiring.
78, bro?
Yes. And now that number could go down to 60, whatever it might be.
That's
within 5
high,
years. It's
though.
super high, yeah. And it makes sense because you get that fast money early. Like,
They can
there's
never
guys on my
stop.
team, Calvin Johnson, for instance, super paid, super nice guy. Literally, when it started snowing in Detroit, he had his white cars out. Now, they're paid cash. He's in mansions, houses all over the place. He could do that.
Right.
But it's that life. You know what I mean?
Player, right.
It's that
White
life.
cars for the snow.
Yes, and it was so pretty too. Yeah. Yeah. But no, guys would do that. So it's like, I was like, that's not gonna be me. I was like, 78%. Nah, like I'm blessed. I made it here. Like I'm gonna be smart with this. So they said that thing, and I literally went home. I tell this story all the time. I literally went home, and I could just see myself sitting at the table, looking out the back window. And I get my laptop out, the first laptop I really ever had. I'm like, all right, and I type in Google, literally, what do rich people do with their money? It was that simple. And it said they invest in stock market and real estate. And then one of the recommendations for the stock market was like, obviously everyone heard about Warren Buffett. So I started reading books about Warren Buffett. Real estate, there was this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by
I
Robert Kiyosaki.
just started that.
Did you?
I'm on chapter
Game
2, me and my
changer.
wife.
I read that in 2012, and I live by it now. And if anybody ever asks me what recommendation, now it's not going to tell you how to make a great purchase in real estate, but it's going to change your mind.
Right.
And growing up from no money, we didn't have that education. You know what I mean? And school's definitely not teaching. That's what the book tells you. You don't get that.
That's why my man was like, if you're gonna work for me, then you're gonna do it working for me, not in the classroom, or you're wasting both our times.
For sure.
And that's where that's
And
kind
he
of
was
why
just
I
like,
stopped.
you're going to do it free too. And it's like,
No, actually, it was 10 cents an hour.
is that what it was?
Yeah. See,
yeah.
I just
You
last
in it.
week I was reading
you
it, so
in
it's fresh
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, well, that book changed my mindset. Now, obviously, you got to invest and do things like that. But I'm like, he was talking about so many things that I've never heard in my life, and I'm like, dang, why didn't I learn about this? So I was just so intrigued. I'm like, dang, so people have, and so I'm like really thinking like, okay, I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma. I had friends. Their parents had nice cars. They had nice houses. And I'm like, dang, that's what they were doing.
They knew.
They knew, but I didn't know they knew until I picked up the book.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, this is the principles that they were living by.
That's it.
My parents didn't tell me these principles. School didn't tell me these principles. It was that book. And I'm like, oh, since I have some type of control over my financial future?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so then I just ate it
Bro,
up.
I'm
book
glad
after
you
book
brought
after
that
book,
up
man.
because I literally just started it, and I'm like, sometimes I don't feel like reading this book. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, bro, I got to go eat that up.
Yeah.
I got to go eat that up.
There's a quote that I always say, man. It used to be on my Twitter too. I would say, this is not the quote, but this is what I used to be on my profile on Twitter. I said, if you don't read books, we can't be friends, because that's the only way that you're going to gather new information. And so there's another quote. They said, if you want to hide money from somebody, and they used a different word,
Already.
hide it in a book.
For sure.
And it makes so much sense.
I heard it. If you want to hide information from black people, put it in a book.
Okay,
That's
on the lines of mine for
That's
sure.
what I
Yeah,
heard.
for sure.
So
I'm like, and I'm just reading them all, and I go back to them all
if you don't
the
read
time.
books, we can't be friends.
Well, it's just you're not going to be stimulated enough. You
Right.
know, it's like, yeah, I love talking sports. Yeah, I love shooting the breeze. You know what I mean? But it's like, if you're not adding new information, are you really growing? You know. And so when I figured, okay, my whole life it's the electric was off, the cold water when I wake up before school. You know what I mean? No
Right.
lunch money, no gas money. I'm like, and I read a book and it talks about like, you actually have control if you live by these principles. And I'm 24 years old at that time.
and you feel like you're so behind.
Well,
I did anyways.
Yeah,
when I finally realized that information was out there.
Yeah, I guess that could be said. I didn't feel like I was behind though. I was like, my life's gonna be different moving forward now.
Right.
You know, so then I just consumed as much information, and I still do it to this day. And I'm just so stimulated. Just built this base and this foundation, and started investing money and learning and talking to other people that do it. And I'm like, this is where my best friends growing up, that's what they were playing. You know what I mean? They weren't just the 9 to 5 and blowing it. They were being strategic about it, you know. And so I just ate it up. And still to this day, if I ever feel like I'm out of control financially, I go back to the books.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, okay,
so
back
that's
to
like
the
your
basics.
grounding place. That's your grounding
for sure.
place.
Yeah, because
that's
the numbers
dope.
don't lie, man. They don't lie.
That's dope, man. Now I cannot wait to finish it. I'm gonna let you know when I finish.
And hit me up. I'll give you some more, man.
I bet that.
Yeah.
What other books do you recommend then?
Other books, man. Okay, The Richest Man in Babylon is another one. Okay. That was probably one of the second books that I read. The Millionaire Next Door. If you look up any financial books, those are probably the top ones. They're going to pop up. Yeah, and all of those are like the psyche of your mind, how to, not really the nuts and bolts of how to invest money. Once
it's more so changing your mind.
Yes, if you change your mind to look at money differently, you can go find a stock that's going to produce. You can go find a rental property that's going to produce.
Now you're thinking that way.
Yeah, but if you're looking at it as a consumer mindset, all right, I made this $10. In all reality, $10 minus taxes is $7, and out of that 7, I need to save 2. So really, I have 5.
Really.
That's what these books will get you too.
Really.
Yeah, and so like, and there's a thing, you know, there are rich people in this world, right? So you can be rich making, I don't know, $50,000 a year. You can be rich making $1 million a year.
Right.
You get wealthy by being rich or making money and then investing a portion of it. No one man, well, I can't really say one man because some people hit the lottery.
Some
and get
people hit
super
the lottery,
rich, you know
or
what I
some
mean?
people just
but
got it inherited.
Naturally, you have to build. You need to be making money while you sleep, and you've heard that before.
Right.
You need to be
Don't
investing.
work for money.
You can work. Yes, it's good to work. Get your hands dirty, but you need to be saving some of that goes over to the side, and that works for you. So you got it. And so like the way I look at it, so I invest in rental properties, right? So I have multiple rental properties, and I feel like every one of those people living in my house, I call them my employees.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're working to help me make money.
Right.
You know, and it could be taboo in such a time like now with the freaking people are
No,
losing
but
houses,
I think it's
just
better.
the principle.
No,
man.
but I think it's better to look at it that way because knowing that you look at it that way, you want to help your employees.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Especially
I feel like I'm a great
time,
landlord. Yeah,
especially
I
in
love
a
my
time
people.
like this.
For
I just
sure.
wanted to make sure I spun that.
No,
you know
for
what I'm
sure,
saying?
for sure.
Wanna
Yeah,
make
because
sure.
you'll hear both sides. But yeah, I'm definitely one that likes and cares for my people. I grew up a renter. My mom grew up a renter. So like even during the whole COVID deal back in March, man, there were so many people that weren't able, not so many, but a few people that weren't able to pay. And I'm like, you know what? You're good. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll figure it out later. I'm not kicking you out of your house. You know what I mean? Not that the state was going to let me, but I'm like, yo, you're good.
Right.
Don't even
You
worry
ain't
about it.
gotta
Like,
worry
let's
about
work together. Let's have open communication. Yeah, but you've got to be putting money somewhere else to make it easier. And yeah, if you save $10 a month, a lot of people are like, oh, $10 a month, I'm not going to do something. It's the principle. Because if you make 100, if you got an extra 100, if you think 10, you can't do it with 10, you're not going to do it with 100.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, when are you going to do it?
When are you going to
do
do
you need
it?
$1 million to do it? No, bro,
Right.
you need to get
You
the 10.
definitely ain't going to do it with
You know
$1
what I
million.
mean? Yeah, you going to go blow it. Yeah.
Cancel that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's the story of the finances.
All right, so you talked about the rental properties. What else are you into business-wise?
So I've got a few other businesses. I got a restaurant here in Norman.
What's it called?
The Porch.
The Porch.
Yeah. So that was an outside endeavor.
Was the turn-up spot for a minute, right?
It's still going, man.
Okay,
I had to pop in last night to see how it was going. The kids are still loving it, they're eating it up, man, and it's just it's been good, you know. I got to a point where I was buying rental properties and I had a good foundation. I was like, you know what, I want to try something new. You know, I want to grow. I want to be around different people. I want to see what it looks like.
You kept reading, so
yeah, it's
so
like
therefore
oh,
you had to keep growing.
You had to keep growing. It's like all
Right.
right, I can't just stay here,
Hey,
which
I'm
I
here,
enjoyed
Ryan.
it.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you now.
Yeah, so then I was like, all right, let me try this restaurant thing, and I've learned a lot about business, managing partners. I mean, not managing, being a part of partnerships, working with, food sales, working with managers, interviewing managers. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
like, so I've got that whole mental game. So now when I go to a restaurant, I can tell if you're a good employee. I can tell if you're vetted right. You know, it's just
Right.
so now when I just in my real estate business, I just hired my first full-time employee, and I wouldn't have been able to make a good hire if I wasn't in this deal. You get what I'm saying? So like everything kind of compounds on everything, you know. And so, when I'm 50, I'm gonna know how to run a hotel. I don't just no telling. Like the sky's the limit. You know what I mean?
So how old are you right now?
32.
32.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
that gives me hope. I'm 30, so by the time I'm 32, I'm trying to be like Broyles.
You got to read all those books.
I'm gonna read all those books,
and you're gonna be good.
Listen,
yeah,
I'm gonna read all of them, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read all of them. But so you got the porch. Is that the only one, or is that, do you have another restaurant?
That's the only one.
Okay, so you just the rental properties and then the porch.
Yep.
That's dope, bro. So then, what message do you have for anybody that just, period? Like, so far, I was gonna ask you about football, but you have more to offer than just football.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to steer you in a direction. Just if anyone's watching this, what would you want to say to them? Because obviously you grew up similar to how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? We had to go get it, right? But you went and got it to the fullest extent. Okay, you made something do.
Yeah.
So what message would you have to people, especially for those that want to make excuses for themselves? How about that? Give your starting point.
Man, that's a loaded question, man. I
Loaded,
guess
loaded potato.
Yeah, just the way I look at life is I'm in control of my life, and obviously I am a faithful person. I believe in the Lord, but I do feel like there's no one else is going to save you. Like if you want something, it's going to be up to you at the end of the day. And then on top of that, it's like you can't be around toxic people. If you want to change, if you want something different, you need to be around different people. You need to consume different information. So that would be my first challenge for anybody is like, hey, like you're not an Uncle Tom because you put on a suit to go. Right. You know what I mean? That's taboo in our world. Like,
right, it is though.
You learned it.
Yeah, like dress up, bro, and go talk to somebody that what I mean.
And it don't make you any less black.
It doesn't.
No,
yeah, for sure. And that's been the thing. That's been the thing in my life. Like if I even when I was younger, not younger, after I made it to the league, like I would come back to Norman, and my boys were still like. Now, granted, they were still young and doing their thing, but like I would be the one like, hey, yo, let's put on a nicer shirt when we go to this restaurant.
Right.
Oh, you Uncle Tom, and like, no, I'm trying to be presentable. You know what I mean? I'm trying to play my part, so maybe a business connection could happen, or you know what I mean, or maybe I wouldn't be profiled a certain way. So like, if you want something to change, if you want something different, you've got to be different.
You got to do your part.
You got to do, for sure.
I just posted that on Facebook yesterday. Let's all individually do our part.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, two things you said, I want to make sure I reiterate it. Nobody's going to save you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're in control. Nobody's going to save you, so you got to get out there and do it. And then what was the second thing you said?
Shit, I feel like I rambled for a second. Yeah, for sure.
You said nobody's gonna save you.
No one's gonna save you, man. And if you want to be, if you want change,
around toxic people.
Yeah,
I'm listening. I'm here,
you don't
baby.
be around toxic people. If you want something different, you got to do different. That's what it comes down at the end of the day. You can't keep making these excuses, like, bro, like time is not on your side. You need to just go ahead and change.
Right.
Yeah. But you're not gonna be able to change if you're not consuming different information.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
From what I and from what I heard, I feel like that's the third key. That's the third key. Nobody's gonna save you. Don't be around toxic people. Keep getting.
You got to keep learning, man.
Keep learning new information.
For sure.
Which is why you was able to branch off into the porch, and then the porch helped you with your first business.
For sure.
That's
yeah.
Fire. That's fire, bro. Like I love when things come back around because everything normally comes back around.
For sure. And a lot of people, man, even to piggyback on that, a lot of people think like a failure is a bad thing. You know, not that I've failed in business. You know, it happens. But at some point, something's gonna hit you where it's like, whoa, I've seen that before.
Right.
And then you're gonna be able to make a better decision.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, why not? And a lot of people say like, you need to be making mistakes early. Make them now while you can, while you have time on your side, because at some point you're gonna be able to stack some of those.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be able to see flaws. You're gonna see things differently because you've already taken the chance. You know. So yeah, that's where I am on that.
So you said you failed at some businesses. Give me one. I'm only gonna ask for one. What's the business you failed at?
I haven't just flat out failed. So, for instance, I'm a real estate investor.
Right.
I've made bad real estate deals.
Copy.
You know, like I've gone into deals.
And it's gonna happen.
Yeah, like I've gone into deals where I didn't know the contract or the loan fully, and I have to hold a property longer than I should, or I didn't understand taxes or capital gains or depreciation recapture. You know, it's like you just don't know until you get in those situations where you have to sell a property, and as like, well, geez, like I didn't let 5 years ago, I would have made a different decision. So I wouldn't ever say that it's a complete failure.
For sure,
You know
because
what I
now
mean?
you ain't gonna make them same mistakes.
I know on my next deal, I'm already gonna check those boxes. Like I
capital
know what I'm.
gains,
Yeah, exactly.
Depreciation.
For sure. Check. Yeah. For sure.
I'm with that.
For sure.
I am with that, man. Well, before we get you up out of here, man, we got to get you to sign that ball.
Definitely.
We got to get you to sign that ball. So
got
while
you,
Twan
man.
pull out that ball,
Yeah.
right behind my man Ryan is the HBSML shirt. Be sure to get on to hbsml.net and get you one of those babies right there. They are going out like hotcakes. Tell them, Twan, like hotcakes.
Hey, man. Faster than you can say, ah, wee wee.
All right, let's do this.
Fire, man. Get my man autograph.
Boom. There
Boom.
you go. Yeah.
Show that. Show that. Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. Man, well, thank you guys as you hung out with us while we dropped these gems that we picked up in these gyms and the gridiron.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, yeah, for
And in
sure,
the business
for sure.
world.
And in the business. Hey,
Definitely appreciate
listen,
that.
For sure.
I'm about to go to the house and try on a suit. You know what I'm saying?
There we go,
'Cause
yeah.
I got one. It's dusty.
Yeah,
But I got
yeah.
one. I'm about to go put it on after talking to my man. Appreciate
open the
y'all.
book.
Peace.
Yeah. Yeah. Sound good, don't it? Check. Look. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look. Life tried to drown me. This hoop is like my life jacket. This ice in my veins is something Titanic. Lockdown defense kept me out the center for detention. Divine intervention passes over to my center. Alleyways are the alley-oops. Some got no looks and passed away when somebody shoot. Back in court duo, but nobody hoops. The wrists follow through and the cuffs got a loop. Pick a book up, picked up and get booked. It's just you and I out running suicides. Me, I was out running suicide. Boy, I'm going in, dropping gems that I picked up in these gyms. I can't slack, I've been down and back. I'm just trying to share a few tales from this thing called life. Count my assists, man, I swear that basketball really saved my life. Yeah, yeah. I swear it saved my life. Let's go.